Lewotobi Eruption causes flight cancellations, and they're ongoing, and I'm going to talk about that in detail right up to this point. And PARQ Ubud closed by Bali authorities. And this is something new and all over the internet. Stay tuned for details on these and other stories. Selamat pagi. Welcome to the latest news from Bali and Indonesia. This is November 14th, 2024, and my name is Bruce. And what is the weather like today up here in Singaraja? Well, right now it is 30.5 degrees Celsius at 8:20 in the morning, so it's going to be a hot one, 69% humidity, and wind speed is very low, 2.4 kilometers per hour. And the eruptions over in Flores have caused a lot of flight cancellations, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. And then we're going to get on to that PARQ Bali thing, PARQ Ubud thing, because, well, some people are really happy about it, other people are not. And so let's take a look and see what it is, because it is all over the internet. And you may hear some noise in the background today. Guys are out replacing part of the roof in my wife's house, and so it's liable to be a little noisy. Okay, let's get into the flight cancellations. This one is from the first report that I had, which was yesterday morning, and I've got an update on this. 26 flights at Lombok Airport canceled due to Lewotobi Eruption. A total of 26 flights at Lombok International Airport, West Nusa Tenggara, were canceled due to the eruption of the volcano over in Flores. Flights have been canceled since Wednesday. In connection with the current condition of the distribution of volcanic ash from Mount Lewotobi, and NTT has informed that the flight status Wednesday, November 13th, that was yesterday, has been canceled, said Public Relations of PT Angkasa Pura I Lombok International Airport. And I'm going to do an update on that in just a second, so stay tuned. The Public Relations Manager apologized for the inconvenience to passengers. According to him, the decision to cancel the flight was taken based on careful consideration by the airlines. We understand this causes inconvenience for airport service users. However, the decision was certainly taken by the airlines to ensure the safety and security of the passengers and flight crew, according to Pak Arif. Arif ensured that he would continue to provide the latest information regarding flights at Lombok Airport. He hopes that the situation will improve soon so that air transportation can return to normal. The ash column from Mount Lewotobi has reached as high as 10 kilometers, and authorities have said sandfall has covered surrounding areas. Bali's International Airport said Wednesday that conducted tests in its airspace and no volcanic ash was detected, saying the airport is operating as normal. 12 domestic and 22 international flights were affected without identifying the routes, according to somebody from the airport there. He did not provide details about the affected flights on Wednesday's schedule. He said due to this natural event impacting flight operations, airlines are offering affected passengers the options of refunds, rescheduling, or rerouting. So let's take a look at the latest as of 8:30 on Thursday morning. And I'll go first to Lombok domestic arrivals. And what do we have here? On schedule. According to this, all of the domestic flights are on schedule in Lombok International Airport. And that includes flights from Denpasar, Jakarta, Sumbawa, Bima, Surabaya, and Jogja. And what about international arrivals? International arrivals, only one, Kuala Lumpur, and it is scheduled for, well, it should have already landed, scheduled for 8 o'clock. And let's take a look at the departure terminal, domestic departures. So, according to the Lombok website, everything is on schedule in Lombok right now. That's as of 8:30 on Thursday. But if you were flying into or out of Lombok, I would check with your airline before you go to the airport. And now let's take a look over at Nurai and see what's happening there. Okay, let's take a look at the domestic arrivals. Got a cancellation from Transnusa that should have been landing now, but it's been canceled due to volcano. Transnusa canceled. Air Asia from Labuan Bajo, 10 o'clock canceled. And everything else is scheduled except for Transnusa. So all the other airlines that are flying in, whoa, okay, here's one, Air Asia from Labuan Bajo, due to arrive at 1845, has been canceled due to the volcano. And a Transnusa coming from Jakarta at 2300 tonight has been canceled due to the volcano. So that's domestic. So let's take a look at arrivals internationally. We've got Jetstar from Adelaide. It's been canceled due to volcano. It was due to arrive at 9 o'clock this morning. Jetstar from Sydney, canceled due to arrive 9:55 this morning. Jetstar from Melbourne, due to arrive at 10:10, canceled. Jetstar from Perth, due to arrive at 10:30, canceled. Jetstar from Brisbane, due to arrive at 11:30, canceled. Vietjet Air from Ho Chi Minh City at 11:55, canceled. Jetstar from Melbourne at 12:15, canceled. Vietjet Air from Ho Chi Minh City at 13:05, canceled. Vietjet Ho Chi Minh City at 14:35, canceled. Cathay Pacific from Hong Kong at 15:10, canceled. Some airline, which says no logo available, I don't know what airline it is, coming from China at 15:55, canceled. Now here is one, Virgin Air at Melbourne, coming from Melbourne, is scheduled at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 16:10. Vietjet Air from Hanoi, 16:35, canceled. Batik Air from Perth is scheduled to arrive at 1800 tonight. And flights from Incheon, Bangkok, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Istanbul, Thailand, Kuala Lumpur, Sydney, Jetstar Sydney tonight, 19:20 is scheduled. And Qantas from Sydney at 2000 is scheduled. So the flights later today, the arrivals at the airport seem to be pretty much okay. So it's this morning and afternoon that have been canceled. So I guess that's good news. If you're coming in from Australia, the earliest flight that I see coming in here that is scheduled is from Sydney on Garuda at 13:35, that is still scheduled. Oh no, here's one. According to this, Malindo Air from Perth at 11 o'clock this morning is scheduled. Oh, and here's one, Air Asia from Perth in about 20 minutes is scheduled. So, some coming in and some not coming in. These are the arrivals. Let's take a look at the departures. Transnusa to Jakarta is canceled. That's at 9 o'clock this morning. Super Airjet to Jakarta is open. Wings to Sumbawa Besar is open. Transnusa Jakarta canceled. We've got a flight to Solo, Jakarta, Kupang, Surabaya, Kupang, Balikpapan, Jakarta, Lombok, Labuan Bajo, and Batik Air is scheduled. Interesting. Okay, so those are the domestic flights. Pretty much all operating here, departing from Nuarai. And what about internationally? Jetstar to Adelaide at 10:20 canceled. Air India to Delhi at 10:35 canceled. Tiger Air to Singapore 10:55 canceled. Jetstar to Sydney at 11:20 canceled. Jetstar to Melbourne at 11:30 canceled. Jetstar to Perth at 11:40 canceled. Vietjet Air to Hanoi at 13:10 canceled. Jetstar to Brisbane at 13:30 canceled. Jetstar Melbourne 13:50 canceled. Air Asia to Perth at 14:05 is scheduled. Vietjet Air to Ho Chi Minh City at 14:05 is canceled. Flights to Singapore seem to all be going. KL as well. Phuket, Singapore, Taipei. Here's a Perth flight, Air Asia at 1600 today. Departing at 1600, that's scheduled. Cathay Pacific to Hong Kong at 1610 has been canceled. Thai's afternoon flight to Bangkok, I used to take that flight all the time, love that one. That's been canceled. Oh, that's on schedule, sorry. Qatar to Doha at 18:55 is canceled. So far, the later flights today seem to be departing, for the most part, as scheduled. But that could change depending on the situation. So if you're flying today, make sure that you call the airline before you go to the airport so you don't waste your time and get irritated. And we'll just have to see what happens. But if you're traveling, I hope that you're traveling safe. Okay, let's get into Park Ubud closed by Bali authorities. The Regency of Gianyar in Bali has temporarily closed the Park Hotel apartment complex located on Jalan Sriwidari in Ubud on Monday, November 4th. Oh, that was last week. The closure and police line sealing of Park's entrance with a yellow police line put in place by the technical team for the supervision of licenses was ordered by the Secretary for Gianyar Regency. It issued the temporary closure order for Park due to accommodation providers' failure to secure the required basic business operating licenses. This list includes a building permit and a certificate of functional suitability. That arguably the largest tourism development in Ubud could be built and operated openly for several years without a building permit begs the belief of many tourism observers. The closure occurred as a concrete step following an agreement reached by the Gianyar Regency technical team meeting for the supervision of licenses. The stakeholders attending the meeting were representatives of the Public Works and House Agency, PUPR, the Investment Board, One Stop Agency, the Agency for the Environment Agency, the Department of Trade, the Tourism Department, and the local enforcement agency, Satpol PP. Wow, a lot of folks. The head of Gianyar Regency Satpol, Imade Watha, said the meeting was led by the regional secretary who had invited Park Ubud to meetings on two occasions, namely on May 30th and November 1st. In the meeting, Park Ubud, represented by one of the owners, could not show the basic permits required and was ready to sign a statement letter agreeing to temporarily cease operations until the permits required according to regulations are acquired. Gianyar officials have installed two banners at the entrance to Park announcing the temporary closure and referencing the official notice to suspend operations. In the past, and as reported by local media, Bali immigration authorities conducted surprise operations there before to inspect the documentation of foreign guests and park workers. On this official website, Park Gazette gazettes itself as the city of the future and offers accommodation, apartments, co-working space, a concert venue, personal growth and wellness services, and several dining options. It boasts 65,000 square meters, more than 100 luxury villas and apartments, 1,500 person capacity, concert hall, 950 square meter gym, the largest swimming pool in Ubud, a luxury spa, meeting rooms, co-working space, and 9 restaurants. Compass.com has described the 4.5 hectare park as a bit of Moscow in the island of the gods, due to its popularity with Russian residents based at the facility, with less kind-hearted descriptions on social media that have branded the property as Russian Village. And I've never even looked at this before. I've heard of this, but I've never really bothered to go to their website. At their website it says, "At Park Ubud, we collect everything you love about Bali." This is all over the internet, and there are defenders of Park, and there are people that are opposed to Park. This has been a very controversial development, especially in Ubud, which is known as the cultural heartland of Bali, and some people have seen this as an intrusion into the cultural milieu of Bali, known for arts and dancing and medicine and yoga. And so this is a temporary closure. Now, according to a number of stories, this was built on green land. Now, I don't know how that happened, but wow. Well, as I said, very controversial, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to follow up on this one. Okay, thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow. I've got a report on the subway and the airport again, and on the situation with farmers converting green land into villas, hotels, restaurants, theme parks. So stay tuned for that.